I went to the Home Depot a couple days ago to check the Christmas lights stock for Christmas 2025. Stock's already out. It was out within the second week of October. Seems like it gets earlier and earlier every year. Somehow I was able to film the entire display at two different stores with zero commentary. In fact, I was filming all over the store and nobody cared, so maybe that policy has gone away. There was copyright music, so I'm going to cancel the audio and I will just narrate over the video. I didn't want to talk in the video anyways. I was trying to be discreet, so I'll talk about it now. Alright, so here we go. Look at all those incandescent lights. There is a ton of incandescent lights still available at the Home Depot. These are strings of 100 white incandescent lights, green wire. From the Home Accents Holiday brand. I like these. I've had very good results with these. Some other people have a different opinion, different experiences. Maybe there's QC issues, but I've used quite a few of these strings over the years and I've never had one go bad. Decent price, about $3 a box. It's not bad. Now, they also have the strings of 300. Same comments on these. I've used these. Never had a string go bad. They're pretty good. And they're about $9.98, which is same reasonable price as the strings of 100. And look at it, tons of them. Boxes up to the second shelf. So tons of both 100 and 300 incandescent clear. There are icicles, 200 strings of 200 white wire clear lights, and then here's the stupid DELs. The DEL Christmas lights at the store this year are outrageously expensive, 3 to 5 times the cost of the incandescents. These basic string of 100, same basic product built to look exactly the same, $9.98 versus $2.98. At 3 times the price. The only thing I don't know about these icicles is I think the ones I have, and I remember there was a discrepancy last year. There was a discrepancy in terms of the length of the icicles and the length of the sets and the wattage of the bulbs. I don't think that this is going to be an issue with the length of the icicles because the discrepancy last year came into place with those heavy duty sets, which I don't know where the heck those came from. Well, I know they came from the Home Depot, but I don't know at what point did I buy them and or not realize they're different. But I don't know if this is the same wattage because the ones I have are strings of 300, these are strings of 200. These might be slightly higher wattage bulbs. Hopefully not, but I'm not sure. We might have to buy a string and find out. But I'm glad they're still there either way. And again, plenty of stock. All new blow molds. I had to get this one, of course. They've got, I think they had a similar dog last year, but otherwise these are all new blow molds for this year. They're reasonably priced. I feel like last year they were more expensive. I think all the pre-lit trees at this point are DEL. Now I will say a handful of these trees, not all of them, but 2 or 3 of them actually looked really good. They were definitely running off of direct current, a fully rectified circuit. There was no flicker, and the coloring was quite acceptable. And see, the colored ones, I have never seen a pre-lit colored LED tree that I like because the coloring gets, it's really, and this is a matter of personal preference. Some people prefer this, but these colors get very deep and cool colored. I like a warm colored. This tree on the right here, this one is better. It's not too bad, but this one you can tell it's got that very cool and almost kind of eerie DEO glow, which I just don't like. Some wreaths and garland, bunch of extension cords. Kind of pricey. Flickering LED garbage spike light. These extension cords are reasonably priced, only $3 a piece. I have a lot of different trees this year. This is pretty cool just because of how big it is. I think it's 12 feet tall. How the heck you even put that thing up? If those are still available at the end of the year and they go on steep discount, I'll consider buying one. I think they're about 120 right now, which is too much. Let's see if I show the price tag clear enough. Unfortunately, all this pre-lit garland is all DEO. And I was able to buy incandescent garland, incandescent pre-lit garland just a couple years ago. Oh, wait a minute. That might be, is that incandescent there? It's half the price. It might be. I don't know. No, I didn't get a picture of the price tag. I can't tell. That might be incandescent, that one box. Yeah, that is pretty cool. Yeah, it's $200. That's too much for this year. That's out of budget. I might get that nativity set this year. That's $129. I have some gift cards I might use on that. I've been wanting to get a nativity set, and that's a nice kind of old school looking blow mold one. There's a stupid deer. I can't imagine how thin and flimsy these are. Even the ones I have are terrible. These are stupid DEL. Dumb DEL dough. I do kind of like these trees with the snow. And, you know, these prices aren't bad on these trees. You know, $50 for a 6.5 foot tree. I mean, that's enough. A lot of people would put that in their living room. You know, that's big enough. 7.5 foot tree for $130. That's not bad at all. Of course, you can see how, look how bad the lights are, though. You can see them flickering away on the camera. See, this one, the coloring is pretty good. This is not bad at all. Same thing with, well, when these are white, same thing with those. I skipped some of this stuff because I was mostly interested in the lights. Alright, so here is some of the outdoor stuff. Is one of these probably rip-off things that doesn't work at all to put the lights on the gutters. The hooks, I gotta see if I can get those cheaper somewhere else. That's kind of expensive. This is what we're going to use this year to hang the lights on the icicle lights on the gutters. Every year I try to improve something about the display, and this year I want to fix that problem with the icicles. Last year the icicles were constantly flipping up on the roof, and it's not good because I don't like going on the roof, and you know, if it's wet or it's snowing, you get the no good. So I want to do that this year and hope that that solves the problem. I'm pretty sure it's going to solve the problem. There's those projector things. They're kind of pricey too. And there you go, Kevin. They still have those gutter hooks. You can just go to the store and buy more. They used to come in packs of different, was it more? It was a different box. And I think that the price went up. They're $4 now for 25. That's kind of ridiculous. I'm sure they make those in China for 2 cents a package. They used to be a lot cheaper than I think. And then these are, I like these, but if I put, I like the lights up like that. But if I put the icicles underneath the gutters, this would not look right. So I can't do that. Although I could still use that to put the lights on top of, like at the peak of the roof. Maybe I'll do that this year. I haven't thought about that. That would look nice. I think I took a picture to send to Kevin. If I ever sent it or not, who knows? That's a different story. Still got the candy canes, the C200, the C75s. I like these. If these were incandescent, I might buy a couple of these at the end of the year. You get some bows, some ornaments, stockings, wreaths, snowflakes. They're all stinking blurry. I shouldn't move the camera around so much. I like to hang these on a wall in the house, these type of decorations. Okay, here we go. Look at these prices. Unbelievable. So this was a display. This year, though, the Home Depot has a new series out called Vintage. And I like seeing this because that proves that these companies are aware of the fact that there is a significant amount of the people that prefer the old school lights. And every year it seems like we get closer and closer to them. Problem is still the stinking flicker. I have never seen anybody get rid of the flicker properly. So this is 100 C9s for $50. That's not too bad. It's still more than incandescent, but it's not too bad. And here's the vintage ones. These are $40 for a string of 50. That's a lot. That's pretty steep. And as you saw on the display, these didn't look bad though. They didn't look bad at all. It says flicker free, but that's cap because they flicker. And they're not super bright. They're not 2x brightness. They're the same brightness as the incandescent ones, or probably a little bit less. I still can't believe we're advertising this as if it's some kind of breakthrough feature. It's been like this for decades. I hope these go on sale for very cheap at the end of the year because I want to try them. I want to scrutinize them on the bench. It's just too much money for something I know I can't use though. And then they have these. I have some of these that I put around the trunks of the trees. And these are awful. These only last like a year or two, and then they break. And they're kind of pricey too. $14 for a string of 24 that only lasts a couple seasons. We got white, colored, and then Christmas colors. I don't particularly like these. If these were opaque, like a frosted plastic instead of clear, these would look a million times better. Price-wise, they're okay. It's not a great deal, but it's not awful. They flicker. Okay, same thing as on the other side, except these are all the faceted kind. I might pick up a box of these C6 ones. I kind of like those C6 DELs. I have a lot of nostalgia to those. Price isn't too bad. You get a string of 150 for 30 bucks. It's a lot more than Incandescent, but it's not crazy. Replaceable bulbs, but that's not the problem. The bulbs don't break. The strings just break. Or the wires come out. I don't know why these things break. I don't know where you can get the replacement bulbs anyways. Yeah, these, I have a lot of nostalgia to these. I kind of like them. They're not anything close to Incandescent, not Incandescent replacement at all. But kind of like them. A lot cheaper than this string for some reason. What's the difference? Oh, I bet this one's allegedly flicker free, but it totally still flickers. Well, lie. Lies and deception, that's all it is. Okay, so now we move into the mini lights that are DEL. And these are expensive. The string of incandescents was $9, these are $19. Doubled the price. Same thing with the strings of 100. And these are the basic Home Accent Holiday branded ones. They only go up from here. All flickering DEL, flickering DEL. We have red, solid red. It is kind of nice to see them start to come in different color schemes like you used to be able to find now. But they all still flicker. You even got white wire ones now. So, yeah, these all flickered. You can even see it. You could just saw that band run down on the camera. Yeah, you got red, blue, green. I think it's purple, white with white wires. So there is a much bigger selection this year of different varieties. Now, granted, there's nothing like this is not anything interesting or novelty style, but we used to be able to get this in Incandescent, and then it went away, and now it's back in DEL, so that's kind of nice. Okay. So here on the right of the screen, the so-called vintage series. Now, these are not bad in terms of coloring. Both. Well, the warm white in particular was pretty good, and the colors were decent on the coloring as well. The coloring was decent on the colored as well. It's certainly better than the 5 on the left. The problem is these flicker something awful. I mean, look how bad that is. It didn't even look like it was on in the video. And so these are interesting. Frosted mini lights. Those are very hard to find. It's too bad these flicker so horribly because the coloring is just about spot on. I could live with this coloring, especially outside. But again, the initial purchase price is so much. These dome lights, I might pick up a couple of these this year. I have a lot of nostalgia to these as well. When the DELs first started to come out, this was what a lot of them were, these dome lights. And, you know, the colors are nothing like what they should be. They're not a replacement for Incandescent, but they're kind of cool. They bring back a lot of good memories from the 2010s, early 2010s, when these became popular first time. There's some icicles here, motion. They probably have like the dripping effect, which are kind of cool. Net LEDs. I think that's the first year I've seen those. Maybe not, I don't remember. Kind of expensive still. Yeah, I'll get a couple strings of 100 maybe. This is neat to see, these sphere lights. Unfortunately they're DEL, but that's another kind of old school thing that came back. Twinkling snowflakes, icicles with snowflakes. Those are kind of cool. And we have DEL replacement bulbs. These are such a rip-off, as are the incandescent ones. Almost what, $2.50 for 10 incandescent bulbs when you can buy the whole string of 100 incandescent bulbs with all the wire and the sockets and the plugs and the receptacles for 50 cents more? What the heck? Who the heck would even buy that garbage? That is so grotesquely overpriced and a complete and total scam and a ripoff. Anyways, moving on. More incandescent. We have incandescent net lights, incandescent icicles, tons of stock, and C9s. There's the best part, right down there, the C9s. Of course, there's a stinking staircase in the way of what I wanted to look at. So, very interestingly, these are about half the price of what they were last year. I want to say last year they were somewhere between $13 and $16. This year they're $7.84. Much, much cheaper than last year by a large quantity. Last year these sold out quick. Couldn't get any. So I might go back and buy a few just to have them on hand, because this is the same thing I use for the tree in here. I did already buy one when I was there just to make sure it's the same thing. I'm sure it probably is. The box looks identical. The C9 light is the C9 light. But these are still here. Tons of stock, front to back of the shelf. And they're cheap this year. Much cheaper. So very happy to see them there. And at a good price too. Yeah, what a flippin' joke. Look at that. 10 bulbs and stupid, dumb $2. You have to be outside of your mind to buy that trash. And same thing with these. These are 3 hours. What a joke. Incandescent mini lights. Clear. C9s. These are a joke too. I mean, you got, there are eight bulbs for $5. For $7 you got the whole 25 plus the string. The LED flickering candles. Now, obviously it doesn't mean flickering like the DEL flicker, but that is just hilarious to me. More incandescent. I might pick up a couple of those. I hope that there's something left at the end of the year and they're cheaper. More incandescent. Last year there was nothing incandescent left after Christmas. Wiped out. But there was a lot of DEL. I mean, shelves, several shelves full front to back for months after Christmas time of DEL stuff. It was too expensive. They didn't discount it very much. Colored icicles. I never particularly liked those. Tons of incandescent. More incandescent. $3 for a decent set of classic incandescent mini lights. I'll deal with that. So this is this a different store now? I'm not sure. These, I don't know what brand these are. There's like no brand at all. These were the cheapest DELs in the store. They're still a fair bit more than the incandescent, but these are only about twice the price. So these are about $6 versus $3. That's palatable. I don't know how bad these are. They probably flicker something awful and the colors are weird. But there's those. Okay, so this is a different store now. Yeah, this is a different store. And we'll go a little quicker because it's a lot of the same stock, same price and everything, just to show the volume at a different store. Plenty of each. All incandescent, full stock. Icicles, C9s, mini lights, rip-off replacement bulbs, flickering DEL candles, stupid DEL bulbs, stupid incandescent bulb replacements that are too expensive. And there's those DEL cheaper ones again up top. More the dome lights, the icicle lights, the spheres, DEL icicles, which I will not use. Yeah, pretty much all the same stock. Claims to be flicker free, but that's bogus. DEL table lamp, ironically not in not in stupid stainless steel, but it looks like it's upside down. What a dumb product. The faceted DELs that are okay priced, kind of steep though. The vintage style ones, very expensive. Allegedly flicker free, but that's bogus. And that's it. So overall, pretty solid selection this year. Lots of incandescent. I'm so glad to see the incandescent. There are some people that were saying, oh, there's not a lot of incandescent this year, but I see plenty of incandescent there. Plenty of C9s, plenty of mini lights, all different styles. The icicles are still there. The DEL stuff is extremely expensive. I don't remember if it was like that last year. I don't remember being completely outraged by the price, but that is outrageous. Most of those are just way too expensive. Maybe that's why they didn't sell last year. I did like to see that the DEL stuff is coming in different varieties now. At least it's not just the same old white and color. There's other stuff. Some of the, I don't know what you call those, like the wire, like those wreaths and the bells or whatever I was showing that I said I use inside. It's kind of neat to see those. There are some bigger outdoor versions. So there's good variety. And that stuff wasn't crazy priced either. It's just the LED strings that were crazy priced. So interesting stuff. We're all good with incandescent. Plenty of incandescent. If I need spares, there's plenty of spares there.